What's going on YouTube? Welcome in to another beautiful build for you. Today we're building in the Thermaltake 170 view. There's a couple variations of this Thermaltake case, but today we're building in the MATX version. We're starting off with the 7600X. We wanted to do an all AMD build, and we wanted to do a mini AMD build in the MATX form factor. We're putting all on the B650 Pro RS Wi-Fi coming from ASRock, which is a really good value board, runs really well, BIOS are stable. It's a really good starting point for any kind of future builds, whether you want to drop it a 7800X down the line, potentially a 9800X down the line, you name it, it can handle it. We got RAM going there as well. We got the Team Group Expert RAM and the T-Create Expert. That's 6000 CL30. We have 32 gigs of that going in there. With 2 terabyte NVMe drive going down in the slot from Kingston in the NV3, which is up to 6000 megabytes per second value drive, which is a really good budget drive if you're looking for game storage, things like that. Got it here in this case. We have an 850 watt power supply coming from MSI and the all white cables with the 850 GL, looks absolutely stunning. And then for the graphics card today, staying on that all AMD line, we've got the 7600 XT coming from ASRock as well, and the Steel Legend OC, which looks absolutely stunning. Let us know what you think down below in the comments. Make sure that like button helps us with the algorithm. Make sure that subscribe button as well if you want to see more of these videos ending up over in your feed on YouTube. And remember, if you want to catch us live on a raw like it is right now as I butcher this really long intro, you can join us any Monday, Wednesday, or Friday over our Twitch channel. We stream around 10:30 a.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/stints, and we hope to see you soon.
All right, look at all the parts. Let's say it's mini. Look at this. I can almost put my own body around this. Small Fang. Everything we need off the top. And we do have an overkill of cooler. So this is a really good build if you're talking about longevity. MATX form factor is maybe the only thing that might detract some people from it, but other than that, you can fit a lot in this case. We've got this big gold honking card going in here too, which is no slouch. But this cooler can really cool up to like a 9000 X3D when they come out if you want to drop it in and have even more power down the line. So it's a really good value right here. So small but mighty, mini but mighty. So let's start building it. I mean, look at this chonker. Let's go top down, get this motherboard out. Again, we have the ASRock B650 Pro RS Wi-Fi board today. The great thing about ASRock is it's packaged really well, it's protected really well. And on top of that, inside of their anti-static packaging, we talked about this before, they always put an anti-static mat, which is nice to have on the back. So we're gonna get rid of the cardboard we don't need here. First is gonna be our CPU, then we're gonna do our standoffs, and then we're gonna do our NVMe drive. Let's get our knife out. Get our CPU in, 7600X today. All right, let's drop our CPU down and in, take out our socket. Looks good, no bent pins. Go down and in, looks good. Top there, all locked in. All right, next we get our NVMe drive down and in. Again, we have the NV3 today, 6000 megabytes per second up to, which is really fast for a really good budget drive. And the system, again, is only around like 1200 bucks. So it's got a lot of power, a lot of potential for upgrades on the line. It's a really good starting point. So if you're really getting into like gaming, you want to be able to game at high FPS, on a really efficient system as well, because we're going with a higher air cooler today. It's gonna stay super chill. On top of that, it's gonna have longevity for upgrades on the line. It's a really good system all overall, so. NV3 is down and in, roll thermal pad on top. We take off our factory brackets. Low torque screwdriver, just take off the factory tension brackets. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 for our standoffs. Our screws here, we just need to get our, I think it has to go curved down. Let's see what they say here. Curved down, perfect, okay. Easy peasy. I'm gonna tap this just really quick. How to get into working on this job? I was doing it on the side. So since Boat started, I was in marketing for years, vector marketing, things like that. And I was Integrated A+ certified for years, which is like CompTIA, since like 2003. And 2002, and I was just building on the side for a lot of content creators and streamers, friends, family, things like that. And I got to the point where I was extremely busy, and then COVID hit. I was almost full time, and we took off right before COVID, and then we just kept growing. All right, RAM today, T-Create Expert. There it is, beautiful white RAM to go with today's aesthetic. Drop this in. 6000 CL30 RAM today from Team Group in the T-Create. There's one. There we go. Motherboard's all assembled. We have our cooler over here to the side. We'll get here in a few minutes. Other parts there. Again, we have the B650 Pro RS Wi-Fi today for our motherboard. Down the socket, we have the 7600X, which is really best value CPUs right now. If you're going to go anything with DDR5, if you're going to go AM4, things like that, we can talk about that all day. That could be something like the The 5700X3D or 5600X is still really good value at the price points. That being said, 7600X, we have standoffs in place for the PA120, which is the Peerless Assassin cooler coming from Thermalright, and the all-white non-RGB. Down our NVMe slot 1, we have a 2 terabyte NV3 coming from Kingston, and then we have 32 gigs of 6000 CL30 RAM from Team Group in the T-Create Expert white, and kind of almost like gold aesthetic today. That being said, let's slide this aside. Let's get this case out. We have the 170 View today. Oh my God, this box is so small, so light. It's literally like a mini View, a mini XT Pro, a mini Montech case. It's mini but mighty. Would you look at that? Yeah, that's cute. Look at this, small. Let's pop this glass off. Here we go. We're gonna pop the back off, just like that. There we go, all opened up. So it does come with 3 fans. I believe these are reverse fans. They're shaped like a reverse fan. So that's reverse fans, 2 reverse fans, 1 exhaust fan. And then they are ARGB, so we'll have some RGB in today's system. Mostly gonna be through the fans in the case. Really good case for like, I think the $70, $75, $80 price point that this is. You do have screws, so you could actually put RGB fans on the bottom here. We're not going to today. You do have the screws for that, but we're just gonna do, because I mean, honestly, for today's system, the fan configuration that's already assembled will be plenty. Slide this around, and we're gonna go top down and get ready to put the motherboard in. We will have to put one more standoff in place. As you know, ASRock likes to be a little different with their MATX setups, their configuration. They like to have a additional mounting point. So here, oh, they actually already have them installed, which is nice. 1, 2. They have the additional one here, but they don't have these installed. ASRock utilizes 8 mounting points, where most of the MATX boards will only have, I believe, 7. Those are actually already standoffs. Let me see. It's threaded for the screws. That's crazy. That's a standoff. That's wild. All right, we don't even need them. We have standoffs in place. All right, take this board down and in. Move our wires here for our fans. Make sure all of our holes line up. Take 2. That's so crazy. Those are standoffs that are built into the case. Nice. We have 2 more on the left over here, and then we're moving on to getting our power supply and our cables ran. Take a look at this now. We have everything in. All of our screws are in on this little motherboard. Looks pretty nice. What do you think, chat? Clean little build. Let's get these. Start working on these cables. So they are daisy chain ARGB, and they have a 3-to-1 adapter for the fans, which is great. So if we start working on this cable, there's actually pretty good space back here too for cable management. I'll show you the back of this. Let's get these cables out of the way. You can see kind of what we have to deal with back here. Well, there's a pretty good channel back here. It's about 1 inch. On the side, we can hide all these cables, which is really nice. Wow, look how long these cables are. That's like a 3-foot long ARGB cable. Double Dutch those wires. I mean, for real. You could jump rope with these things. Before we work on the rest of the RGB, we're actually gonna put in our main motherboard cables. The only thing I will say is, it's going to be hard to reach some of these. What's the thought process by blocking off? Where do you put your cables from the motherboard? You gotta go over the top and come down, which is kind of weird. Go up and under here. Well, luckily I have 2 USB 3.0s on this board, so the one's gonna go down here. This board doesn't have Type-C, which is nice, but that power supply cable is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be like a top run up here. That's gonna be interesting. I just realized that's a really weird thought process for this motherboard, or for this case. I don't know if I like that. You can see where the cable is supposed to run through the middle right there, the motherboard, but you can't because the motherboard's there. All right, before I even cable manage this, I'm gonna get the power supply, because look at all that. I gotta find a home for that. So, let's get our power supply out. 850 power supply today from MSI, and the 850 GL. It's white. ATX 3.0 and 5.1 ready. Get our cables we need. Luckily, you do not need SATA today, which is nice. Keeps that at bay. You don't need a 12-volt high power, which is nice they have it in whites. We will need one CPU, a 24-pin main. Let's see what the GPU is calling for here. I'm just gonna open it really quick and peek. The GPU calls for dual PCIe. All right, anything else can go into the motherboard box. There's our CPU, 24-pin main will be next. Dual PCIe. Just easier to run these now before. Let's slide this in. We're working all these cables next, chat. Here we go with HD audio, and then we're moving on to running this power cable for the motherboard, which is gonna be over the top, and I'm gonna try and make it really flat and tight. So let's see what I can do here. This is funky. So I gotta go way up here. I had to like stretch the cables out individually, one by one, and around the back of the board to make this look somewhat decent. Maybe people will think about doing that, but because you gotta make sure it's not hitting anything. That's a funky run, but we did it. Not too bad for the cable management. It's a little messy. But this is a very small case. You have to think about it. It's a very small case, and I mean, I'll just tell by the power supply run how I have to run that power supply. But it's time for the cooler. top down, get this thing mounted. That's our next to do. Let's get our fans out. There it is, chat. There's a cooler. There we go. Let's get our GPU out. All right, 7600 XT today. 7600 XT. There we go. Break tab because it's a 2-slot. All right, let's get this card in. Absolutely beautiful card. Love the top of that too. I mean, Steel Legend card's a slick little card. You got this piece of cellophane here on the side. There we go. All right, in we go. Let's get a little funkage. I'm gonna tell Don gets to play Black Ops 6 on this tomorrow morning. He should be excited. If it makes it, I think this thing will probably sell really quick for the price point. 3, 2, 1. There it is. And let's get ready to light up this bad boy PC and get the power in and be ready to light it up. There it is, chat. Mini and mighty. What do you think?
Guys, thanks for coming in and liking another video here on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like button, help us with the algorithm. Make sure people find us and see all the beautiful PCs we build. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button as well. Remember, we build these systems live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/stints. Come over, hang out, chat it up with us, watch us build beautiful PCs for everybody in the community. And remember, let's go.